morning, everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Jesus and Jammies, where God's story brings us together. How are you guys doing? Isn't my pyramid amazing? There's a science to it. You have to make sure you space your cups evenly, and you have to be very careful when you add each level to it. It's really fun, but when you have to be calm, not have shaky hands, you have to be at peace. Hey, isn't that what we've been talking about all month? Peace. And actually, peace is about way more than just being calm, quiet, and still. Peace is proving you care more about each other than winning an argument. Now, isn't that the way you want other people to treat you? Making peace is a great way to build a bridge to someone else, instead of letting a disagreement and hurt get in the way. It's a great way to treat others the way that you want to be treated. We've got another super cool story coming up about someone who just had to decide if she could make peace. You're gonna love it. But first, we'll kick things off with this week's Get Real video.
I'm Lawson, and today we're talking about peace. Piece of cake? It smells so good. And does anybody have a fork?
Peace, Lawson, not peace.
Yeah, I know. P-E-A-C-E on Earth and all that. I just wanted an excuse to eat cake. Anyhow, at least there are cookies in today's story about P-E-A-C-E, peace, as told to me by my young friend Raj. Now, Raj lives like 5 houses down from the school. So every morning at 7:35, he heads out the front door and down the sidewalk. And every morning at 7:36, Mr. Sampson beelines down the driveway with his coffee to get his newspaper. Because I guess some people still actually get newspapers. He claims it's the smell of the ink. And at precisely 7:37, Jade Zimmerman runs through with her pesky dog, Thunderbolt. Now, Raj usually gets stuck right between them. Then Mr. Sampson complains, "That dog of yours pees on my mailbox." And Jade snaps, "That mailbox is an eyesore." Because Mr. Sampson's mailbox needs a little bit of work. And it's still decorated for Christmas. So, Raj takes some extreme measures. He yells, "Stop!" But Mr. Sampson shouts at Jade, "Your dog is killing my flowers!" And she yells back, "I'm voting you out of the neighborhood!" Raj finally makes a break for it. But their words come flying after him. And it happens like that again. And again. Raj tells his mom, "They're driving me nuts." And she says, "Maybe you can help." So, Raj makes a plan. And the next morning, he's ready with treaty treats. They've got chocolate chips for Mr. Sampson with healthy oatmeal for Jade. And while his neighbors are busy chewing, Raj offers to help Mr. Sampson take down the Christmas decorations and plant some daffodils around it. And Raj offers Jade a bag of dog treats so she can coax Thunderbolt to do his business somewhere else. And then they all high 30. And at last there's a little peace for Raj's morning trek to school. So kids, never leave your Christmas decorations up past Valentine's Day. But always do remember that peace is proving you care more about each other than winning the argument. Hey! Aha! Ooh! Time for a little peace? Okay. It's so good. I'll see you guys next time. I love you so much.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, From Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. And now for an amazing story.
King David. He was a pretty famous guy. David was chosen to be the next king of Israel when he was just a young man watching over flocks of sheep. God had promised that David would one day be king, but in the meantime, King Saul still ruled Israel. Saul was jealous because David won battles and was very popular with the people, so Saul kept trying to capture or hurt David. As a result, David and his men spent most of their time living on the run. They had to move around a lot and hide from King Saul and his armies. It wasn't easy for David, but if he wanted to stay alive long enough to become king, he had to stay on the run from King Saul. One day, David and his men went down to the desert of Paran. They traveled near the land of a wealthy man named Nabal. Yes, that's right, there's another villain in this story. Nabal was very rude and mean, but he had a very wise and intelligent wife named Abigail. At first, Nabal's servants weren't sure what to think about David and his men. Nabal's servants didn't know if they could trust them. But David's men didn't do anything mean or steal from them. In fact, David protected Nabal's shepherds from harm. At a certain time of year, sheep get a haircut. They call it sheep shearing time. During that time, David asked 10 of his men to go speak to Nabal and give him a friendly hello. David told them, "Go up to Nabal at Carmel. Greet him for me. Say to him, may you live a long time. May everything go well with you and your family. And may things go well with everything that belongs to you." Like my David voice? David also told the men to remind Nabal that he had been good to his shepherds and sheep. David said this, "When your shepherds were with us, we treated them well. The whole time they were at Carmel, nothing that belonged to them was stolen. Ask your own servants, they'll tell you. We've come to you now at a happy time of the year. Please be kind to my men. Please give me and my men anything you can find for us." All right, that seems like a pretty normal thing to ask, right? I mean, David was just hoping Nabal would share some of snacks while they were all celebrating. But Nabal said no. Can you believe that? David and his men had showed plenty of kindness to Nabal's servants, but Nabal had refused to give them any food in return. When David's men returned and told David what Nabal had said, David was angry. About 400 men went with David looking for a fight. Nabal's servants could tell that this wasn't looking good, so a servant warned Nabal's wife Abigail about what Nabal had done. Abigail knew that she had to do something to help. Maybe if she made a gift for David, she can convince him to turn back instead of going after Nabal. Abigail didn't waste any time. She gathered supplies and loaded them on donkeys. She gathered bread, cakes, wheats, and grains. She told the servants to go ahead to David and his men, and that she would follow them. When Abigail finally saw David and his men, they were marching through a mountain valley. She could tell that David was very angry. Abigail got off her donkey and bowed before David. She then took the blame herself. She said, "Please don't pay any attention to that evil man Nabal. His name means foolish person. And that's exactly what he is. He's always doing foolish things. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see the men you sent. Sir, the Lord has kept you from killing Nabal and his men. He has kept you from using your own hands to get even. So may what's about to happen to Nabal happen to all of your enemies. May it happen to everyone who wants to harm you. And may it happen just as surely as the Lord your God and you are alive." Everyone was watching what David would do. Nabal had assaulted him. Not assaulted. Oh, God. Everyone was watching what David would do. Nabal had insulted him, but Abigail showed honor to him. Would that be enough to keep the peace? Abigail continued. "The Lord your God will certainly give you and your family line a kingdom that will last. That's because you fight the Lord's battles. The Lord will do for you every good thing he promised to do. He'll appoint you ruler over Israel. When that happens, you won't have this heavy load on your mind. You won't have to worry about how you killed people without any reason. You won't have to worry about how you got even. The Lord your God will give you success. When that happens, please remember me. Nice. Abigail stood there, waiting to see what David would say. After a moment, he smiled. He said, "Give praise to the Lord. He is the God of Israel. He has sent you today to find me. May the Lord bless you for what you have done. You have kept me from using my own hands to get even." Nice. Abigail had made a stand. She had saved the day. David accepted Abigail's gifts and told her to go home in peace. In the end, Nabal died. He paid a high price for his foolish and angry response to David. But God blessed Abigail. She had chosen to humble herself and do the hard work of making peace. Abigail understood that you can show you care about others by being part of the solution. Abigail wasn't the one who caused the problem. She wasn't involved in the fight, but she got involved so that she could make peace. She chose to be a part of that solution. Let's talk to God and ask Him to help us be peacemakers with our family, our friends, and anyone else who has a conflict. Will you pray with me? Dear God, I hope this lesson that these kids and these parents and anyone watching learn today, that you don't have to be a part of the problem. You don't have to be the one that instigates the fight, but you can sure be a part of the solution of whatever conflict that has happened. That's the way we make peace with each other. We all come together and figure out a solution without having things get worse. God, we thank you for this amazing story, and may you bless everyone, and let's have another amazing week. God, in your name we pray. Amen.
Wow, way to go, Abigail. We see through her example that God can work through each of us to make peace between others. Remember, we have the best example of this in Jesus. Jesus loved people so much that He gave His life for us. We can follow His example and help find a solution to what's wrong, even when we aren't involved in the argument. You can show you care about others by being a part of the solution. It might seem easier to just stay out of someone else's problem, but you never know how God might use you to be a part of the solution. He gave you a heart that cares about people and a creative mind so you can find ways to help. If a couple of friends are arguing, maybe you could calm the situation down by helping them talk it out. Or maybe you heard some kids talk badly about someone else. You can defend that person and talk about how much you like them and value their friendship. Remember, if you're not sure what to do, you can talk to a trusted adult. They can help you think of ways to step in and make things right. This week, let's be like Abigail. Let's look for ways to help others have peace. Well, it's going to wrap up another episode of Jesus and Jammies. We hope you've learned a little more about faith and had some fun along the way. Make sure to join us for our online streaming worship service at 10:30. Everyone's welcome. Instructions to join are on our website at genevapress.org. So from all of us here at the Jesus and Jammies studio, may you have the joy, love, and peace of Jesus until we see each other again. Leg up.
Let us do all we can. Let us do all we can to live in peace. Let us do all we can. Let us do all we can to live in peace. Let us do all we can. Let us do all we can. do all we can. Let us do all we can